Good morning. This is Ann White. I am the founder of the Creating Calm Network, and I am here today to introduce you to two of our hosts, Shay and Tim from Lifestyle Luminaries. And what I find so fascinating about them is their lifestyle. And it's a lifestyle I know so many of you would, maybe it's a Walter Mitty dream or a fantasy. What would it be like to just close the doors to our stable life and just get in an RV or a boat or whatever and travel and follow the sun? So today we're going to find out the good, the bad, the funny about that lifestyle, and also more about Shay and Tim. So I'd like to welcome you both. And where in the world are you? Shay?
Where is Waldo today?
So we're in Boulder, Colorado for most of the summer.
Okay, and obviously that is Shay who spoke, and there's Tim, her beloved, on her side, and they're the host of Lifestyle Luminaries. And by the way, hats off to you. How did you come across David White?
We were talking about his book, The Heart Aroused, the poetry and the preservation of the soul in corporate America. And that, I know you came across it a long time ago too, but years ago, and there was always a quote on there that really was impactful to me, and I've used it and sort of referenced it over the years. That has to do with I'll think of it in a minute, but that quote really brought us to wanting to share, on the show with the listeners, sort of a revelation about poetry and about work life and what that really is all about. And we related it back to the prodigal journey, and we've blogged about that and we've talked about it, but it's really about finding out who you are, and we find out who we are through all these trials and tribulations, and I think that's really why we did it that way.
Well, and Tim and I have been so hugely focused on how do you live every breath of your life, keeping heart and mind all emanating together, not just the mind.
Yeah.
And corporate America and the job, since people spend most of their awake time in corporate America, my God, we've got to bring that deep heart sense back into our workplace, because the creativity and the happiness level quotient would go through the roof.
That's amazing. So in a way, it sounds like there's two ways to do it. One way is to leave traditional corporate America and figure out a way to self-sustain outside of corporate America. And then I love what you're saying, because so many people cannot do that. So to bring that heart center back in to a corporate America. And so I love that that's the way you were approaching it.
Yeah, it's an easy place to lose your soul. But and I like what he says, because we bring our bodies to work, but it's our soul we put into it, and I think that's a great thing to remember. It doesn't matter what kind of a job it is, or if it's corporate America or your own business, if it's working for somebody or digging ditches or whatever. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with people working hard and having a good work ethic, but it's how do you integrate the soul into what you're doing. And we're not taught that, and I think David White really sort of integrated it. He's a beautiful writer, and I think it's important for people to understand that words and the way words are put together are very impactful, and I think that's why the great poets, William Blake, Walt Whitman,
Rumi.
That how they're when you really sit and think, you really got to sit and think about poetry. You really have to sort of step into what those words actually are, and I think it's almost a meditation, and so we really sort of fall in love with it. And I think David White is a great bridge between sort of corporate mindset, left brain, intellect, and his whole soul, heart and soul.
He's experienced all of it, and what we found out also, Ann, is it's not just corporate America, so we don't want to just be... Well, what I was saying was we don't want to just beat the drum about corporate America, because it happens as an entrepreneur, it happens in multi-level marketing, is they kind of lose track of who they are and why they started their business or got into multi-level marketing, and they start running it like corporate America, just the individual people, and they lose the balance in their life, and then they blame it on their MLM. They blame, we're all about taking full responsibility for what we create and how we create balance in our life or not.
Right, and you bring up multi-level marketing, and that's one of the ways I believe that you two found the freedom to hit the road. And what I'd like to have you share with us is, first of all, that decision to live in a motor coach and travel, and then share a little bit about your lifestyle with multi-level marketing and what kind of freedom that gives you, because it's just amazing the kind of, so many of us would sit in our homes and think, what would it be like to follow the sun or to take off and be gypsies? But,
yes.
And we know what happened in some of your sun, but anyway, you followed a blizzard, you followed a flood, but go ahead.
We've been around. Well, we sort of evolved into it, really, because we sort of had that dream when we first got our motor coach. That's just a whole. I don't know if we got time to go into that story.
Well, I'll share because I've been dabbling.
Give it a short version.
Right, because you used to live in Minnesota, right? Is that where the two of you had a home when this all started?
In the Midwest.
Okay.
So, I dabbled in MLM from a place of I liked their products since the 80s. And I always knew that someday that would be a way for me to travel and have residual income. And so when we were on our maiden voyage with our motor coach driving across Arizona, we both went, what should we do? We really don't want to stay in Minnesota anymore. My last my last daughter was graduating from high school, and I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden the light bulb went on. I go, well, Tim, multi-level marketing. We didn't win the lottery. We don't have residual income. So let's see if we can attract. We kind of put out a challenge to ourselves. Let's see if we can attract exactly what we want in an MLM. And we had this long list of things, from integrity, authenticity, high-end product, around health and wellness. And it took us a full year to attract the right one that literally, when I stepped into it, and Tim was like, no, you're already in 2 more. And within such a short time, it just took off. And so I just looked at him, and he goes, all right, let's do this. So
well, and there was a sort of a preface to that, which is we wanted a way to take, what we come to know and learn and understand about the world, a way to take that out to the world. We tried the workshop thing, and that's fun and it's great, and everybody sort of falls in love. What we found with network marketing is it's a personal development workshop with a paycheck. You actually get paid to do it if you're willing to approach it like that, and because network marketing is going to teach you a lot about yourself. And we call it network marketing, but I think any direct selling, any kind of sales, you have to really understand that your business doesn't even matter if it's marketing or sales. Your business is a reflection of the state of your mind, and if you can kind of wrap around that nut, and then it's about, well, how do I adjust or attune my mind to get what I want? And that's a great opportunity for learning and growing, and that's really what drives us. And network marketing was just like the perfect fit,
It's been such a perfect fit. 6 years ago when we joined the company that, we actually have a fantastic livelihood from, we are not the same people. I mean, people separate business from their personal, spiritual, conscious side, and we don't believe you can do that. We believe you have to just integrate it fully, and we've changed so much, Anne, spiritually and consciously, and from, such a vast, very visionary kind of place, and we take everything we learned from joining that multi-level.
Yeah, every now and then you fade out, but one of the things that I like about it, and we'll come back and see if you're back, is that the lessons that you're teaching that you attract with multi-level marketing could also be on any kind of business, like in Creating Calm Network, as I built Creating Calm Network, laying out what you want, keeping the balance with it. So it's a wonderful lesson for whether it's multi-level marketing, whether it's an entrepreneur career, a lifestyle.
Well, and it's even beyond business, because, and we tell the people that to take the journey with us, that we want to know about every aspect of your life, because guess what? There is no separation. People say oh, my work life is separate from my personal life. Well, guess what? It's not.
Yeah.
Everything is related, and everything is integrated, and everything is affecting each other. So if you got something going on in your personal life, it's going to affect your business life. If you got something going on in your business life, it's going to affect your personal life, your health, all of that stuff. You know, so if you're unhealthy and you want to start a network marketing business or any kind of business, you want to start a little corner store or a thrift shop or whatever, you want to start a business and you're unhealthy, we've always said if we're unhealthy, we know where we got to go. We got to go deep inside. We got to clean up whatever it is you're going to be pushing, and you're going to have manage, and a lot of the gurus are all about managing all this dysfunction in life. Why not just get functional? You don't have to manage anything.
Yeah. And I think that's the theme of your life. I was looking at the intro to your show that we're going to be putting up on your Creating Calm Network webpage, and it's you show up. And, that's step one, I guess, show up and be present. So that really is incorporated into your personal lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yes, they're very big time.
And, we've got really nothing to offer except our example. And, not that everyone's got to live in a motorhome and travel around. I mean, that's just sort of what we're doing now. We have no idea where it's taking us or where it's leading us. We just know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
We love it for now.
Yes,
for sure.
About what it's been like, because how long have you been on the road now? Almost a year, has it been, or not quite?
Oh, it's been over a year. Yeah, we went full-time May 15th of 2013, so over a year now.
Okay, and what's it been like?
Yeah, well, okay, the good parts are the places, you get to see things. You fly from Boulder, Colorado to Los Angeles, and you can, if it's not cloudy, you can look down and see some stuff, and if you take a train or drive a car. But I mean, when you're in a motor coach, you stop and you see and you experience and you get to meet people all along the way, and it's a really magical way to travel. And so that's the upside, and I don't know if I'd call it a downside, but there's challenges, but it's not like, hey, we're on a house on wheels. If you live in a house, you got things that break, you got things that need to be fixed, you got things that need to be done and maintained, and it's the same thing with this, with on wheels. It just gets magnified. Someone told me once it's like living on an active fault line, something that's always shaking, and you're driving down.
Plug in, so it was like a 90-degree day, and there you were. But I guess you just go outside and play then.
Well, and that's a choice. I mean, because we've sort of chosen to boondock, is what they call it. We're just parked on the street against this beautiful mountainside, just a few houses away from my sister Cara Lee, and but we could go to an RV park and plug in and have air conditioning and all that stuff, and but it's far away.
Yeah, they're far away.
There's nothing around here, so.
It's definitely far away. There's not much in Boulder, Colorado, and so we're here to visit family. My daughter also moved here in the fall. My oldest daughter, she's 27. So, we kind of, when we take off from our southwest corner of Arizona, California for the winter, we kind of make our trade route up to see our family and our friends, and we don't want to be 35 miles away hanging out in an RV park. What fun is that?
Yeah, where do you go for the winter? Or this last winter?
Yes, we were in Cave Creek, Arizona, which is just north of Phoenix, and back and forth to Orange County, California.
Yeah. We had some friends there that had some room on their lot, and we just the front end of our motor coach was parked and looking out over a valley.
One of the questions I want to ask you is, and I don't know if other people have asked you this, the two of you and you live together in a motor coach, which, you can't really go to your own room very easily. How does it affect your relationship? How do you give each other space, and does it work well?
Well, it's really funny because when I was interviewing one of our guests for the radio show, we really started talking about space. And I had said to Tim that morning, I go, it's really funny because, I had, with my former husband, raised my 2 girls in a 3,600 square foot space. That's huge. And chunking it down all the way to this, which is about 400 square feet, I think. And what I really found was that, the feeling of space is all in your mind, in your story. And I said, I can sit here, Tim, and be right next to you working on my project, and I feel like I'm in this massive space, that it all belongs to me. It's kind of a state of mind, Ann. It's just wild. But the outdoors becomes a part of our living space. So I've never felt cramped, and he hasn't either.
Well, and I think it begs a great question about relationship, and people. Most people that we come across and most people that we know are living separate lives. They come together after their workday week and their personal activities, and they sleep together. So but we're together 24/7. So most people couldn't do that. And I think that the reason that we're able to do it is because from the get-go, we've done our personal work. We've really developed an understanding of what real relationship actually is. And so, and it's one of 2 things. Relationship is either a form of self-gratification, which is what our entire culture is basically about. As long as I'm getting what my needs met, this is a famous thing that people are always talking about. My needs met by you. Then we're in a relationship. As soon as I'm not, or my needs change, well, our relationship changes, and you might be sort of dismissed. But the other way to look at relationships on a higher level of consciousness, as you sort of grow into this, is relationship is a process of self-revelation. And I think that's a very, very important and key thing about how we live together. So we came together, and I knew, and she knew about me, that that we were mirrors for each other, and whatever I was seeing in her. People say, "Oh, yeah, but my partner can be annoying," right? Well, the annoyance is in you or me. If I'm being annoyed, the annoyance is in me, and it's up to me to fix that, to clean that up.
Yeah, shift it.
Shift it out you. So if I'm angry or annoyed, I know that that's about me, and she might trigger it, okay, but it's really not about her. So then it becomes a whole nother dynamic, and it's all about me, and that's where my work is. And frustrated and give it up and get on to the next relationship.
And take
but
it
as we all know,
you bring you with you.
You just drag yourself right along with you, and there you are, So I think that's why, if you realize that, then you can be anywhere with anybody at any time, and be in love. Well,
and we had come from such a full place within ourselves. Our cup was running over. Mine was running over. Tim's. So all that running over just goes out to the extension of the people around us, whether it's our partner in life or the people we run into at stores, we actually love humanity. And so we're in love with humanity and the expression and the diversity that comes from myself and another person expressing. And so we really come together knowing I'm coming to expand myself and to work on myself, and Tim's going to help me do that by mirroring back to me that which I still want to grow up and expand, and vice versa.
And the world mirrors it back. So,
right.
People ask us, well, what do you do when you're confronted with an angry, the angry people out there? And we're like, wow, when was the last time we even came across an angry person?
Yeah.
I can't even, when you clean it up, it just doesn't. Your law of attraction, they zig, you zag, you don't run into them, If you drop your vibration, that's why we always tell people, we'll never drop our vibration for anybody. You tell us your sad story, and we're actually listening on a strange level that would be sort of a creative. We're not really listening to your sad story. We're rearranging it as you say it, because for us to join you in your sad story only grows roots in the problem, and we drop our vibration into that level. We only add to it. We have nothing to offer then.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everyone's all these people that are against, you know, save the whales, save the snails. That's a George Carlin shtick, but all these people that are advocates, and there's nothing wrong with advocating, you know, kindness and things like that. But when you rise up against something that's got to be stopped, you lower your vibration to the level of consciousness at which the battle's being waged.
Right.
And you know, so what? Nothing. You haven't benefited anybody. You've just joined into the battle. So to us, there's only one thing possible, and that's for us to keep our vibration high. That's why we're very careful about things that we eat and things that we're exposed to. You know, we don't like loud restaurants and bars. We can go there if we have to, and you know, and it's okay. But we're just like, oh God, that's just, you know, not pleasant for us. You know, so and certain people, you know, but we can be around all of that and sort of move with it. But you know, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Well, you did a lot of spiel there, honey.
You know, it's a wonderful thing to observe, because you live it, you walk your talk, and you can tell by the two of you that you do have that kind of a higher vibration where it's filled with love. And it's interesting to hear you talk about it, because many people, you know, get it and don't get it, and get it and don't get it. So I love that you shared that with us from that perspective. And I love that you're drinking your green juice, because then that again, there's an example of lifestyle. And are you still doing where you go into someone's home and teach them how to raise their vibration and shift things around? Do you want to share a little bit of that, Shay?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Ann, thank you for asking about that. We actually did 3 pilot programs in Orange County, California, and we haven't gotten the program. We've got everything down, the details, but we haven't advertised it yet. So beyond our pilot programs, we haven't actually gone out to do it, but that is something we are looking forward to as we put the pieces together via social media and how to get the word out there starting this fall. So yes, the Lifestyle Luminaries live-in, 3-week live-in program where we come to you and, you know, set a new morphogenic grid in someone's home to support the shift that needs to take place physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and health-wise. And we bring all the pieces to the puzzle for that.
And we know just from being in network marketing and putting on workshops for, you know, health and consciousness and things that, you know, just you know, getting a little information and having a nice experience is nice, and it can be helpful, but life-changing doesn't really happen unless you've changed, like she said, whether you want to call it the morphogenic field of your area that you live. If you can change that, and if we could come in and set that grid, and then go through, you know, there's the detailed things like, you know, get rid of all the garbage that you're eating, you know, and become aware of what things, labels mean, and, you know, get rid of the products that are all toxic waste, and, you know, just the obvious things, and then move them into how to learn to work with food.
Well, it's shifting.
You know,
it's shifting an entire lifestyle.
Entire
lifestyle. You can't just work on one part and expect that to keep going.
Even shift their relationship by teaching them how that mirror works and that higher vibration and everything.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, what people don't understand is that we've had a lot of people, you know, that are like, well, geez, you know, if I wake up to a higher consciousness and my partner doesn't, then we might not be in relationship. And we go, yeah, that's true, and that's okay. But see, people People are really funny about that. Yeah, you know, or they both might rise in consciousness and find that they need to go separate ways, you know,
right.
but I mean, I remember when I was studying and learning some things in NLP and whatever, you know, they taught, you know, this whole section on relationships, and I really it was really discordant with me, and I talked with our instructors about it, and to me it was like there's managing a dysfunctional relationship is
That's crazy.
Is just crazy.
It's
crazy.
Like
you work on you and get yourself right, and you over here, you work on you and you get yourself right, and when you get yourself right, everything's going to be great, and you may or may not stay together, but everything's going to be great, so why why would you fight it, or why would you stay together just to stay together? You know, why not live, learn, and grow, and come what may.
Well, move with the natural, be in that move with that natural flow of your expansion into consciousness, and when you're expanding, you drop the fear. Fear is what keeps people together. It's the fear of the unknown. Oh my God, what will my life be without this person, or alone, and you know, it's such a program that it just, you know, it stifles people and it locks them, and it's a big anchor on their whole life as far as where they can go, and they can't even imagine what life would be like without their partner, or living in a different space. And that's where we invite people to step into their imagination and start imagining what it would be like.
And we liken that to AM radio and FM radio. You know, on AM radio, you know, there's a zillion stations. There's all kinds of different things going on there, and you can them all, and you can live a full and happy life on AM. Okay, nothing wrong with that. We switched to FM, no static at all. All of a sudden you're hearing stereo. All of a sudden the sound is crystal clear. All of a sudden, but guess what? If you've been on AM your whole life, all your friends, all your family probably are all on AM. You just switched to FM. Guess what? You're probably not gonna be around them much. I mean, they're not gonna. They're just. It'll just sort of happen naturally. They just drift away. But there, you're stuck on FM, and you're like, where is everybody? But guess what? When you're on FM, your frequency is such that you will attract other FMers, and that is where that's the greatest part of all, because when you're on FM. You know, then you're attracting other people on FM, and that's where all the magic happens. And FM is like where the imagination becomes awake, and when the imagination is awake, then all things that are love and all things that can be created coalesce and come together, and that's sort of where we come from.
Well, and when you think of no static on FM, it's like all the programming has been let go. It's the programming that keeps you, you know, whether it's from our church, our parents, our culture, our educational system, our government, that's all the static. That's all these little voices in your head that don't even belong to you. So it's getting crystal clear about what your dreaming is. What's your dream field contain?
Ah, I love that. That's a great explanation too. And as we're running out of time, I'm going to go a little bit longer because I want to ask you about multi-level marketing, because it is something that we've all heard about. And I've heard people say, "Oh, it's just a scam. You'll never make money." And I'm one of those who gets distributorships because I like the product, Shay. So when you said that, I thought, oh, there you have. But somehow you have made it the magic. And what is that? Is it just how you set up the law of attraction, that this is what I want? I want it to be something that incorporates in my lifestyle and feels natural. How did you make it work?
Well, you know, it was so many things, but I know what it takes in any multi-level marketing, setting it up and aligning it inside of you, and being worthy. I'll tell you, we self-sabotage ourselves tremendously when it comes to multi-level marketing because we're not educated on how to be self-motivated, self-inspired, and self-empowered to really treat it like a business and create the focus that it takes to do that. And so we find everything. We'll bring in life situations, everything to set, even your other business that you might be in as you try to grow the multi-level marketing business will become more successful. And then you gravitate back to that because it's familiar and secure. So it's really a worthiness of having money coming in without you having to work so hard and create an imbalanced life. It's really about self-love on the deep level and your worthiness of receiving an income coming in once you've set that pace and you've gotten to a certain level in any MLM where the money comes in whether you're working it or not. So it's such a mind, such a very expansive place to go, and most of us have been dumbed down and we can't go to that expansive place. So we hit our glass ceiling.
I think people leave the negativity and build a barrier.
Well,
Absolutely.
I think it has to do more with just habits. People are comfortable with their habits. They're comfortable with, you know, it's just easier to hit the alarm every morning and go to the boss that you can't stand. And, you know, it's just easier than actually stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that you can't do. You know, we talk about in network marketing with our people, you know, about closing, you know, and, you know, me being in the athletic club business for most of my, you know, previous life, you know, we knew how to close. I mean, it was a sales and it was technique and blah blah. You know, it's really manipulative. Some people, it's okay, but that's okay. I'm not saying that's bad because some people need to be manipulated to make any kind of useful change. So it's all right, but it's really we used to tell people, you know, if you're uncomfortable asking for the sale, then you better learn how to do it. And once you learn how to do it, you don't need to do it anymore. And that we never closed anyone. We got 30,000 people in our business.
37,000, 40,000, something like that.
We've never asked for the business. We never closed anybody in the traditional sense. What we did do is we closed ourselves. We had to sell ourselves first. And when you do that, then everything comes into alignment, because if you're talking to somebody and you haven't closed yourself, unconsciously there's all this communication happening, okay? And guess what? They know it. You're not even convinced about the product, and you're not comfortable with the business or the industry
or the price or
who knows, you know, a bazillion things.
Yeah.
So once you're, and that's what they, you know, they talk about, you know, the business jumping into you, and that's sort of when you know, because it just feels right. It feels like a comfortable old suit that you put on, or it just feels normal. And for most people, you know, it takes that persistence and sticking with it and doing uncomfortable things to get over all that until they are comfortable with it, and then it just becomes sort of a pleasant dance, you know.
Right. It becomes a very graceful dance when you closed yourself. And so, you know, we're such proponents, Ann, of multi-level marketing as far as, you know, really growing yourself up, because there's nothing there but you to look at. And so many people blame the business, blame the product, blame the comp plan, but it's just really a reflection of where you are consciously. So we actually use it as a really grow yourself up tool, and we say to people, by the way, if you really want to work this and really want to set yourself financially in time, because time currency to me is the greatest currency I've got, is really you got to focus, and you can't come up with an excuse of why it's not working, because it's really all about you. So
yeah, it's back to that relationship thing again.
Right.
Your business, your life, everything is just reflecting the arrangement of your mind.
Right.
And if you're looking out and you don't like the way something's arranged, it's up to you to rearrange it. And people just aren't taught that they have the ability to do that, and they're not taught how, and they sort of dismiss the whole idea because, you know, well, it's not science, you know, we need atoms and subatomic particles to make things happen, you know. And you know, there's just so much more going on, and we could get into a lot of discussions about DNA and all that stuff. That's probably another time.
Or maybe a radio show. Could be
a good show about it. Yeah.
And actually we've run over, but you are just a delightful, delightful couple. I am so honored that you're with the Creating Calm Network. All of your shows are just award winners. So Lifestyle Luminaries, they're on Thursdays, but if you go to Lifestyle Luminaries Creating Calm Network, you can listen to the past shows, and they're just wonderful. You take us to, like, we went to a vineyard, and just even exploring your family, we have a lot of fun. I love the show with you and your mom, Shay. That was just a
well. Yeah, not everything has to be galactic, conscious, way out there stuff. I mean, we're traveling around, we're meeting real people that are drawn to us for whatever reason, and we find that sharing their story and their life and their passions and their work is a great gift to the world, and it's a great gift to us for them being in our lives. So we just enjoy sharing all that.
Oh, yeah, and like I say, we're the beneficiaries of your sharing. So thank you so much for taking time and letting us just peek a little bit into your life. And for those of you, I've been trying to talk Shay and Tim into doing like a reality show on the road with Shay.
Right.
So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what will happen? Life will unfold as it should when it should. Right, guys?
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much, Ann. This has been such a great experience for us, on the Creating Calm Network.
Yeah, I hope
sure.
this all turns out. It seems a little choppy on our end, but I hope,
there's
hope it
some
turned out
parts,
good.
but the wonderful thing is we've got some great, education and learning. I mean, I'm richer because I've been able to talk to you this morning. So I think anybody can just be patient through that. That's how life is. You get a little chop in life and you go for the good stuff. So, anyway,
we always like to tell people we're just good mirrors.
I love that. Take care. Have a beautiful day.